tune, download it and stuff. I've been remote tuning this a little bit. I told them I wanted to do the in-person stuff with the transmission because I don't have a lot of experience with the transmissions in these. Most of them I do are 6 speeds or 5 speeds or something. Pro charge setup. When I first downloaded this tune, it didn't give me a VIN number and stuff. It was really odd. I even entered the VIN number and it still wouldn't let me license it. So I don't know, the customer bought an MPVI device off of me and tried it, and it actually worked. It didn't even ask me for a VIN number and stuff, so here we are. So this car was previously tuned by Lund. It was super lean. It didn't run good. The transmission settings were stock. The only thing I did to the transmission so far was turn the lockup off, anything below like 4th and 5th gear. And then I richened it up quite a bit too, just for now. I left everything else alone. We're gonna go dial in this math table, play with these transmission settings and stuff. I'll do some screen recording, and then we'll see what we learn, because you're on a learning adventure with me with the transmission stuff. Now, one thing with these cars, I don't touch the speed density portion of it. Well, why don't you do that? Because I don't understand it. It looks like somebody has touched it from, I downloaded a stock tune, so looks like somebody's touched it. I have no clue what their rhyme and reason is behind it, because the numbers to me look like some dog shit. Let's just take out a little bit of fuel here. I'm just gonna leave the hell alone, because again, I don't understand that, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. There's not a lot of information on Fords out there when it comes to tuning. A lot of these guys you'll read the HP Tuners forums, and there's some guys on there that'll share information, and then there's some guys that'll be like, I don't know, why don't you just try to figure it out yourself? I think the guys that say that, well, I don't know, why don't you just try to figure it out yourself? I think those guys don't really know anything, and they're just trying to use you as a learning tool. They're like, hey, you just go do it, you go try it. Report back. But I can't find a lot of information on the speed density portion of this. The math tables is pretty easy. It's pretty linear. I do the long-term and short-term fuel trims together and just have a calculation off of that. On the Spark, these cars use mapped waypoints. So there's like a ton of them, depending on what generation of Copperhead ECU you have, or generation of Coyote or whatever. It just kind of depends on where it's at in the map and where you're gonna add and subtract timing at. You can't just add a section of timing. You have to make sure they're all kind of smooth, you know, because they will jump around points, but it's gonna use it in the percentages. So say like it'll use map point 20, for example, it'll only use 50% of that, and then the rest of them, it's gonna spread it out around that map point too. It's kind of odd to explain. And then they'll have an optimum power one, which is supposed to be wide open throttle. And that's not always the case either, because you'll see it when you make a pull with it and you're recording all the map points. It won't go to that one all the time. It'll sometimes stick at like map point 20, for example. And you're like, why in the hell is it doing that? Look, I don't know, it's a Ford. Okay, I have no earthly idea. I'm just giving it what it wants, and I'm just doing what I'm told, okay? But enough ranting about me and my lack of Ford tuning. But yeah, let's go dial in these little shift points and stuff. I'm gonna make it a little lighter on its feet. It feels pretty good right now, but I want it to be a little bit better. Now, another thing I'm gonna do too, I'm gonna try to get the E85 working in this. Another thing I don't fully understand in these, I've messed with ethanol before, obviously on GM stuff, but I don't fully understand the Ford stuff, so it's gonna be a little learning curve with that. I can't find an ethanol percentage on the scanner, so I'm gonna try to do a little bit more digging on that. He's got a full tank of 91 in it, so I'm gonna go run it down probably a half tank and get comfortable with it and see if it actually starts reading ethanol content somewhere. I'll show you guys too. I'm gonna do some screen recording and stuff. I'm gonna show you guys what I find. All right, so we've got a good 35-minute log here. You can see it's, so right here is going to be your idle and just driving around and stuff. So a little rich right here, a little lean right here, going on the tip end. Made a little pull with it. It runs pretty damn good. It's a solid little car. Let's see, got a 2 degrees of knock right there, so I'll probably just turn it down a little bit. 4 degrees. Oh shit, okay. Got a little knock right there. Let's see what the AFR was. We're gonna richen it up a little bit right there. But she's moving some air, definitely. We're gonna richen that up a little bit. So what we're gonna do from here is what you do is go to this graph right here, copy it, just like you do with a GM. Go over here to airflow. We're gonna do the period, or the MAF airflow versus period right here. We're gonna paste special. Oh, go back. I'm gonna do half on that one. I don't wanna do full. I don't wanna overshoot it. And then we're gonna do this and this. We're gonna look at it. Looks all right. Go over. Looks pretty good. All right. And then we're gonna turn that spark down a little bit. So let's see what the spark source was. Borderline, and it was optimum power, and then the distance to the VCT. So this is the map points I was talking about right here. I deleted a bunch of the channels because it was recording really slow. So it's probably on really close to map point. Like, it's probably around here somewhere. So I'm probably just going to take it around, take 2 degrees out across the board on all of these, like the MPT, or I'm sorry, not the MPT, the borderline one right here. So just a little bit of spark knock we had, like nothing crazy. The Coyote, the copperhead PCMs, they're really smart about adding or subtracting timing. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that accordingly right here. All right, I was just looking at the log. I know I just recorded it and all that stuff, but that was burst knock. I turned it down quite a bit because I felt it on the highway too. All I did was like a 60 roll and I hammered it, and I guess it just burst knocked or whatever. Just it anticipated knock, and that's all I did. I was just adding it back, so not a big deal. Or it could have been in traction control too, because I still had that on, but I don't think it was a big deal. So I just returned those spark tables back to stock, adjusted the MAF, and then that was it. All I did was adjust the MAF. So oh, and some transmission shift points too, because I noticed it shifted early. I'm trying to command 7,200 RPM shift points at wide open throttle, but it shifted early according to the log. But I'll go make another hit and see what it does. We are doing pretty damn good. The MAF looks a lot better now. Still gonna adjust this. I already copied and pasted it over here. So there's the adjustments. I took out a little fuel up top too, because I actually added a little bit just to make damn sure that I was good. But I think this thing's on like 12 or 14 pounds of boost. Like, it's moving pretty good. So you can look here on the pull from like a 35, 40 roll, boom. So that's just burst knock. That's all it is. I left it on, but I just deadened it. So, oh, it's over here. Let's see here. Where is it? Tip and retard. So like stock is like a lot. It was quite a bit. So I just deadened it quite a bit. That's still left it on, but I deadened it. So we got just a little bit of knock, like 1 to 3 degrees, like nothing crazy. I'm not concerned with that. It's moving pretty good. Let's see, we're on 186 kPa, so that'd be like 86 kPa. So we'll do 90. About 13 pounds. So yeah, about 13 pounds boost. Not a big deal. Wideband's reading 11.1, but on the gauge on the car is reading like a 1030. So let's see what the Lambda was. 7.5. Yeah, well, you know, we're decent right there. So I took a little bit of fuel out, like nothing crazy. And then that's the only change I made was that. And then here's the transmission settings right here. I upped the scheduling from 1 to 2. Upped it on this one as well. You can see there's the mile-an-hour differences right there. If you're just seeing like this 8 number and 5, okay, that's just mile an hour, but all I did was interpolate it. That's all I did. I just kind of smoothed it out. Let's see, and then this one upped it quite a bit too. So there's my shift RPM that I wanted at. It looked like it was fairly close to it. So I think we're getting closer. I think these are predominantly off of the mile an hour, but I might bump that speed up just a little bit more and just to try to get that 7,200 RPM out of it. Now, tuning these things, like, don't freak out. Like, you first start it, don't freak out about the MAF reading. Just give it a minute. They're factory widebands. They got to heat up and all that stuff. Like, just don't freak out about it. Go take a first spin. And if you guys want the channel's list and stuff, I'll put it for sale on my website. If you want $5, I'll make a couple of different ones for you, because if you try to log all those channels at once, it kind of records everything slow, and then it's just not good. So I'm going to separate the kind of important ones, and you just, like, I'll put like something where you start off with this one, go dial this in, and then you can turn this one on right here and go dial this one in. Yeah, yeah, 2 for 1. There you go, $5. You can have it. I'll put a link in the description below. But it seems like it's running really good. What is the... See, like right now it says it's running lean, but it's not. Like, I already know it's not. It's like it's warming up. Like, I just flashed it. Like, just give it a minute. Go drive it. It'll improve. And I'm doing this with long-term fuel trims on as well too, so they're not even recording right now. But the last flash I did, I noticed it didn't record until like a mile or 2 down the road. So I'm just gonna give it a little bit. Slowly but surely, we're gonna get this thing. And then I'm gonna run this tank down quite a bit more, and I'm gonna go pump a little bit of E in there. And then I'm gonna see if I can determine what reads ethanol and how does it work, and because I'm really curious. I just don't know how it works in these. Obviously there's a way, you just can't find any damn information on it. All right, we got this thing dialed in pretty damn good. This is a 24-minute drive. I'm really gonna copy and paste this, multiply by half. I'm probably gonna be done with the pump gas portion of this right here. So that's all I'm gonna do. Everything else looks pretty damn solid. Got a couple little knocks here and there. Yeah, I'm recording load now. I accidentally had that turned off. Let's see here. That's your variable cam timing on the exhaust and the intake side. But this is what we're worried about right now. I haven't messed with any of the variable camshaft stuff. I didn't even check and see if it was stock. But let me get this thing flashed right here, and let's go run this fuel out. I have a half tank right now, so let's go run this out, and then I'm gonna put some E in it and see if it can read E85. We got that MAF dialed in pretty damn good. So I enabled those mapped weight points for like the spark and stuff. I re-enabled those. So we're gonna record those, and I'll show you exactly how slow it actually records if you're trying to do that with the MAF and stuff. So I don't recommend doing it if you're just trying to adjust the MAF, because you're gonna be driving your ass off for a while. So I just recommend just doing them separately, just because it just records really slow. But it drives really good, and I mean it's just doing good. So I'm gonna go run the fuel out, and then we're gonna dump a couple of gallons of E in this sucker, and then see how she does. If it starts reading and it starts adjusting, I know I got it right. But there's a couple of different adjustments in there, and I don't know which ones are which. I couldn't tell you. No other changes. I just added 5 gallons of E85 to a half a tank of fuel. So I'm at a little over 3/4 of a tank of fuel. I'm gonna go drive it around and kind of mix it up a little bit and see what you do. I'm recording. Damn, that person just pulled right in front of that person. I'm recording infrared octane, the knock octane modifier, and like some other stuff. I can't find anything that's like alcohol percentage, like to record. So maybe I'm looking in the wrong area, but I've looked at every single table that I can possibly think of, and I don't see anything. So we're gonna go see if it starts reading or starts changing something. It gets some kind of reading. If not, I'm gonna try the other flex fuel thing and go from there. So I had initially on this use NVRAM. I have no earthly idea what it is. Let's be honest with you. So I'm just gonna put it on this one now. The only thing I noticed was, you can see on here, I'm gonna disconnect from the vehicle. I drove it around for a little while, you know, about 15 minutes, and gradually the it looked like it stayed the same on the log. Now on the dash, it was reading like 12.8, 12.9 driving around. So I know it knows it has ethanol in it now, but it doesn't do it from here or here for some reason. So I'm gonna have to play with some of these settings, I guess. I'm not really sure. I'm literally just gonna have to mess with this thing and then see if I can get it to start reading. So I don't know. Wish me luck. Okay, I've got alcohol percentage enabled. So what I had to do is, if this is disabled and you go to poll, quote unquote, these channels right here, it won't show up. You have to have flex fuel enabled, and then it will, you'll have to go to vehicle and then repoll for supported parameters, and then you can search for just alcohol percentage and it should show up. So we're gonna fire it up here and see if it works. Hey, look at that. Hell yeah. Alright. So it's working. That's awesome. Well, I guess we continue tuning now. Now I've got it working. I don't know how accurate it is though, because I had about a half a tank of 91 in it. I only put 5 gallons of E in it. Now it should have, I probably see about 60% to, okay, there it goes, it's going down now, okay. So sitting there idling, man, it was at like 73%. I was like, there's no way on God's green earth this thing's got 73% E in it right now. So it's working, so that's good. I might have to like mess with the thresholds a little bit. So I think I'm gonna do that. Just to, like, so it updates and stuff. It looks like it updates really fast. So, oh yeah, dude, dude, that works really good. That's awesome. So now with that, I think, so HP Tuners released that stuff like a long time ago, like in 2016 or something. They added all that flex fuel provisions and stuff for it. Now you can actually add flex fuel modifier tables to your spark tables and all that stuff. So in theory, you should be able to add spark to it and gain some power, especially in a boosted vehicle like this one right here. So, and I lied earlier, it's not a damn Pro Charger, it's a Vortec, it's a V3. That's what it's on. It's like 13 pounds of boost. So, headed to Jonas real quick. I'm gonna go update a tune on something real quick, and then we're gonna continue on this thing. I might keep it overnight. I wanna see how it does. This thing should haul ass, really, with ethanol. This Mustang right there. Hell yeah, dude. Now, when you do this, you need to make sure your fueling on gasoline is pretty spot on. This one's within like 2% everywhere, so it's fine. That is totally fine. Day 2, I wanted to keep this one overnight to make sure the E85 was still working. It is. All right. So I'm gonna go, we're done with fueling. I'm gonna mess with a little bit of timing and a little bit of transmission stuff, and I think we're gonna be good with it. As far as VCT cam timing, I'm not gonna mess with that until I get it on the dyno. It's gonna take quite a bit of time, I think, to dial that in. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of power to be made with that. I mean, I could be wrong. There are currently some non-stock settings in it right now, and I don't know if it's gonna benefit or hurt it. At the moment, it doesn't seem like it's down on power, but there could be power to be made. The exhaust cam is at like 5, and I think the stock settings are like 15, so I don't know. That's from Lund, not me. I didn't do it. Well, let's go dial in this little transmission a little bit. Look, we'll warm it up. We'll go put some more E in it too. I want to see it go up. Man, it learns it real quick though. Like when I first started it, it was at 9, and it immediately started picking it up, and that was for me flashing it last night. I was updating something, and then just for me talking right here to now, it's at 38%. So totally fine. Just got off the highway, little 12-minute drive up here to Ulaga. Just wanted to point out a couple of things. So getting on it, like barely, if you look at these mapped waypoints right here. There's map points, whatever. These points, okay? So these are going to be for Spark, and it's going to be for the VCT. So it's primarily using number 7 right here at this particular RPM and throttle and vacuum and all that stuff. So if you go along here, I'm entering OP, which is optimum power, a little early because this is a boosted vehicle, and it's trying to, the negative number, it's actually trying to add timing to it. So if you fast forward right here, you can see it trying to add a ton of timing right here. So what I'm going to do is add some timing right here at this load, at this cell, and then this mapped point. So we're going to go to that mapped point real quick. Optimum, we're going to go to optimum power right here, and we're going to make sure it matches here. So what are we getting? We're getting 31 degrees of timing, -4. Yeah, right there. So, and if you notice, this doesn't, the engine load doesn't match. So when you get this, you're going to have to match this right here. So just come in here, right click on it like that, graphs layout, and then just go over here and then match your row axis. See, again, you can see my row axis doesn't match. So I'm going to go in here and add a little timing about right here. Like nothing crazy. I'm going to leave the wide open throttle alone. And then I'm going to lengthen out this 4th gear a little bit. All right. 1st gear, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. I'm going to do it like 1 more mile an hour, and I think it'd be perfect because it kind of shifts in the 5th a little early. It was doing it way worse than that. I lengthened it about 3 mile an hour, so just little stuff, you know, just to make it that much better. But we're gonna go continue driving it. I got a half a tank of fuel now, so I'm gonna go fill it up with E85, and it should change the alcohol percentage. And if it does, I'm gonna call that a major win. And I'm gonna go grab some breakfast. All right, I think we're gonna make 1 pull with it, and then we're gonna call it a day. Do like a 40 roll. Got belt slip. Definitely has belt slip. It bled back to 6 pounds. You can feel it too. Feel like it pulled pretty good though. We'll go look at the log and injector duty cycles up there. That's good. Got some alcohol going to that sucker. All right, here's that little pull I did. Right here, you can see it. Doing real time here. Boom, initial little hit. You can see where it's belt slipping at. Look at the RPM. It kind of just it kind of hangs back a little bit, and you can watch the map sensor too. Like it'll sit there and bleed back off. So yeah, it's belt slipping pretty good. Based upon just the injector duty cycle, this thing's probably around, I don't know, probably 570 to 590 wheel, somewhere around there, just kind of give or take. And it depends on the boost level too, obviously, because it's you can see where it's belt slipping. It just uses less injector duty cycle. So, but it's doing it accordingly. So I actually added a little bit of timing from this. I'll show you my final stuff here. So as you can see, we're in optimum power mode. Sometimes some vehicles will just use a couple of different ones, but this one uses optimum power for its wide open throttle. So we're gonna go over here to Spark, optimum power, and there's my final optimum power right there. Got a little modifier. I added a little bit of more timing to that. It seemed like it liked it. Everything else, we'll compare a stock file. All right, here's a stock one in comparison. Didn't change too much, but we added quite a bit to the FFE modifier. And then the pre-ignition limit, we lowered it quite a bit from factory under this load right here. So, because if you just change this engine load right here, it's going to use those right there, and it's going to spark, knock, and ping, and blow up. So, airflow, there's your MAF table compared to a stock one right there. And then torque settings, blah, blah, blah. Driver demand, you got to up this a little bit when you do these. Otherwise, it's going to run into torque clip issues. Power enrich, there's your This is in lambda, so it's going to reach that lambda right there. Again, these PCMs are pretty smart about doing that too. They will do anything they can to do it. Yeah, pretty neat little setup. Idle, didn't really change much on that. Just bumped the idle up just a hair. Nothing on the torque or anything like that. It idles just fine. So anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Hope you liked it. Hope you learned something. Like, subscribe, do all that YouTuber stuff. Catch you guys on the next one.